What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to Zero Productions. Thor 5 is apparently in the works, and boy, do I have some thoughts. Now, you guys, Thor has been an interesting character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's either you really like him or you just don't care for the particular character. And I'll be honest with you, before Thor Ragnarok, I didn't care for Thor. I just didn't. I thought he was, kind of overpowered, kind of boring, kind of lame. But then, when Thor Ragnarok came out, and it was like a reinvention of the character, and you had Taika Waititi who was on board as the director, who just delivered something totally different and was really refreshing. It was good to see. And then last year we got, the fourth Thor movie, Thor Love and Thunder. And, Taika wrote the film and he directed it as well, incorporating, the Gore, the God Butcher storyline, and, the almighty Jane Foster, and, it just got a little too convoluted. And Taika went full Taika in that movie. I mean, I don't know what the restrictions were for him in Thor Ragnarok, but with Thor Love and Thunder, it was just like Thor Ragnarok on times 100. And it was just too goofy. It was like a parody of the character. And, ultimately, Thor Love and Thunder, personally, to me, you guys, is bottom tier MCU. And I'm talking even in the earlier phases, phases 1 and 2. I'd rather watch Thor 1. I'd rather watch Thor the Dark World before I watch Thor Love and Thunder. That's crazy to me, right? And it's just so disappointing. So, when this report came out saying, was saying that, Taika was coming back to direct a potential Thor 5 and what kind of potential villains he would like to see, and how he was saying, that he would like to see somebody stronger than Hela. I was like, okay, well, in Thor Love and Thunder, you guys teased that Thor was going to eventually go up against Hercules. Cool. That sounds like fun. But that reveal of Hercules in Thor Love and Thunder just didn't do it for me, you guys. I forgot the actor's name, but I was just like, sheer size. I was like, you look tiny, bro. And to go up against Chris Hemsworth, who is like an almighty god, in real life, he's ginormous. I was like, I just don't see it. Maybe he'll have some time to bulk up if they do decide to do Hercules versus Thor in Thor 5. That, then the possibility, it could be much better. But I was like, man, do we even need a Thor 5? Now, granted, Thor Ragnarok made some money. Thor Love and Thunder also made some money. Now they're not billion-dollar franchises, right? But, they do make some kind of money back when, when these films do come out. So I was like, okay, well, on the back end, they're going to see some money if they do a Thor 5. And if you market this movie as a big Thor versus Hercules, I feel like it could do something big as well. But personally, to me, you guys, I feel like Thor 5 should be the last Thor movie for Chris Hemsworth. I feel you give him his old man Logan story and make this something very drastically different and make it very dark. I mean, Chris Hemsworth did say that he wants something very different if he was going to return for another Thor movie, because he even admitted Thor Love and Thunder was a little bit too goofy. And I'm glad he admitted that, because that shit was overly goofy. It was just way over the top. You know what I mean? It lost me. Because, to go from Thor in Avengers Endgame, badass Thor, right? Dealing with all kinds of depression, and to see him at the end of the movie with both of his hammers and just whipping ass and so serious. And then all of a sudden he gets with the Guardians of the Galaxy and now he's a buffoon, and Thor Love and Thunder, he's just some big goofball. I miss the seriousness of the character. And that's credit to the Russo brothers. I feel like the Russo brothers always handle these characters better than some of these own directors. It kills me. It really does. So, for Thor 5, it definitely has to be a farewell for the character. I think you kill Chris Hemsworth off. I think you let him go. He's had a great run as Thor. And I think, eventually you replace him. Who do you replace him? You got to have Better Ray Bill. You got to have him replace Thor. That would be so perfect. It would be perfect transitioning over into this new age utopia of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Look, Downey is gone. Chris Evans is gone. Scarlett Johansson is gone. Mark Ruffalo, pretty sure, is out the door now. Hawkeye, who knows when we're going to see Jeremy Renner after his recent incident, him, sustaining these serious injuries. So who knows what's going to happen with that. Although I did love the Hawkeye series on Disney+. It was a lot of fun. I love the whole family dynamic between, Hawkeye. It's really intriguing to me. But, with Chris Hemsworth, man, I think you give him his farewell tour for his last Thor movie and you kill him off. You make it, like I said, drastically different from the other Thors. You make this very dark and gritty and emotional. Should Taika come back and direct it? I think Taika should come back and direct it. You know, just because he's had one bad film doesn't make him a bad filmmaker. But I do believe you bring in different writers. Not saying Taika's a bad writer, but I feel like he suffers from the goofiness of his writing. You know what I mean? It's just the jokes don't really land, especially in Thor: Love and Thunder. You bring in a different writer, you switch up the tone, and I feel like a Thor 5, you market that shit, and it could be a massive, massive, farewell for Chris Hemsworth, and I feel like it would do the biggest numbers. And like I said, you market it as a Thor versus Hercules movie, it's going to do, even bigger. I still think, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson should have been Hercules. Man, can you imagine the box office numbers for a Thor 5 of Chris Hemsworth versus The Rock? Thor versus Hercules. Oh my God. That would have been huge. But, a lot of people aren't fans of, of The Rock himself. After Black Adam, he's on a kind of a hot seat. But, it's something I would have liked to have seen, moving forward into the MCU. But like I said, kill Hemsworth off. Hercules is the antagonist, and by the end of the film, Hercules is a good guy, just like in the comic books or whatever, and, you move forward and you go from there. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens if Thor 5 even actually happens, because, with everything going on with the writer's strike and SAG-AFTRA and delays, we don't know what's going on. I expect everything that was supposed to release next year to be pushed back 6 months. So Deadpool 3 probably won't come out to the very end of 2024, you guys. It's going to have a huge, massive shift in delays moving forward, and it's going to affect a lot of things. Avengers Secret Wars, Avengers of Kang Dynasty. Them shits ain't coming out to like 2030, you guys. And it's so depressing to think that those films have so many years, before they come out. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about a possible Thor 5 releasing and directed by Taika Waititi. Do you want somebody else to replace him as the director and the writer and really bring in a fresh idea for this Thor 5? Thoughts and opinions, you guys. Post your comments down below. Let me know. Peace.